It has been 30 years since the Great Hanshin Earthquake struck Kobe. Today I'm heading to a home center similar to a DIY shop near my house to check out some items that can help us prepare for emergencies, such as earthquakes and typhoons. There's also a backpack containing 34 essential items designed to assist you in evacuation situations. The Great Hanshin Earthquake struck on the early morning of January 17, 1995 at 5:46 a.m. It was the first earthquake I had ever experienced. At the time, I was sleeping, having just moved into an apartment on the 9th floor, the highest floor of the building, the day before. For a moment, I couldn't register what was happening. My first thought was that there was something wrong with the building, perhaps a construction fault. The entire building swayed violently, and the ceiling light above my bed swung back and forth. I could hear the sound of glasses, cups, and dishes crashing to the floor. The shaking didn't stop. It felt as though the earth was expressing its anger. My husband shouted, "Earthquake!" and only then did it hit me. This was an earthquake. The ground seems to be splitting open, and even if we had tried, we wouldn't have been able to stand. Overcome with fear, I started crying and trembling. Still in our pajamas, my husband and I sat on the bed, helplessly, waiting for the shaking to stop. When it finally did, we knew we had to leave the apartment, unsure if the building would collapse. Since we had just moved in, most of our clothes were still in boxes. Grabbing a hanten, a traditional Japanese winter jacket, I followed my husband to the door, my legs shaking. We tried to take the elevator, but it wasn't working because the electricity had been cut off. The staircase was our only option. Fortunately, our car was parked in an open-air lot, and we were able to sit inside. Many residents were leaving the building in confusion, most of them in their pajamas like us. No one knew the full extent of the earthquake, and the bitter cold of winter made everything worse. Throughout the day, there were countless aftershocks, each one reigniting my fear. That afternoon, we climbed back up the 9th floor to check on our apartment. Surprisingly, the damage wasn't as bad as I had feared. Apart from broken dishes, shattered glasses, and a fallen TV, there were no cracks in the walls. Later, I learned that buildings in Japan are designed to sway during earthquakes to prevent them from collapsing. However, the constant swaying of the building was unnerving. We couldn't stay in the apartment as electricity, gas, and water had all been cut off. That night, we slept in the car. I can't even remember what I ate that day. Thankfully, electricity was restored relatively quickly, within a day or two, but we didn't have gas or water for weeks. Luckily, my husband's cafe had an unaffected water supply, and we let people come to get water freely. As electricity returned, we began to understand the scale of the disaster. Highways had collapsed, fires raged throughout the city, houses crumbled, and many people were trapped under debris, and more than 6,000 people died in this earthquake. Huge cracks had appeared on roads, making rescue efforts difficult, and the narrow streets in the area didn't help. Despite the devastation, I was struck by the resilience of the Japanese people. There was no honking or chaos. People queued patiently for food and water, and those who had extra supplies shared with those in need. Even a month later, gas supply hadn't been restored. We had to drive to another city to bathe at friends' houses. This experience taught me that earthquakes can strike anywhere and at any time. Before the earthquake, my husband had assured me that Kobe wouldn't experience one, but it happened. Coming from Singapore, where there are no earthquakes or typhoons, I wasn't prepared. Since then, I have learned the importance of protecting your head during an earthquake and taking cover under a sturdy table. It's also a good idea to have an emergency bag ready, packed with essentials like water, food, a flashlight, and portable toilets. Looking back, the Great Hanshin Earthquake was a life-changing experience. It taught me the unpredictability of nature and the importance of preparedness. But more than that, it showed me the strength and resilience of people in the face of adversity. Even now, when I hear a tremor or hear about an earthquake elsewhere, I am reminded of that morning in 1995. It's a reminder to never take safety for granted and to cherish the everyday moments of life. Though it was a harrowing experience, it also deepened my understanding of the community I had chosen to call home. Japan, with its spirits of resilience and unity, continues to inspire me to face challenges with courage and grace. Thank you very much for watching.